What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today I'm going to go over updated Unchained. This is a deck that I've been playing for a little bit now. We are changed it up a little bit before the last deck profile. I think it came up like 3 weeks ago. You guys did give that video lots of likes. You know, it came to 100 likes. We're going to be doing an updated Unchained combo video as well. I think that one of my first combo videos was an Unchained one. It did quite well on the channel. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I did some test hands as well with this deck. But this is going to be just the updated combo, or updated deck profile, so you guys know kind of what we're working with. Change it up so it's a little bit more consistent as well as powerful in the current meta. But we're going to be seeing the first copy of the one Unchained of Sharara. This is going to be the one that we play with. Unfortunately, we are still playing the Doolittle Chimera as well as the Princess package. Let us add it back. It does help you pop. I love this card a lot. It helps you out when you open it. We are playing the Triple Arua. This is the Fiend locks you permanently for the turn, which is important to remember if you do activate this. And then we are playing the one Little Freak, the one Big Freak, alongside the blue Rakea and the Shayama, and of course the Disaster Dog. You do have to play this card. This card is no longer like a choice. It is absolutely mandatory for the Unchained package. You know, we are playing other cards in the deck, like the Dark Beckoning Beast. We're not playing the copy of Tour Guide, which I'll mention in a second. This helps you out to get your full combo, and there's like different lines you can pick with this, which is quite cool. It opens up a lot of different lines. Quite useful. You know, still a pretty small Unchained package. Now, we're not playing the Tour Guide because we are playing the Dark Beckoning Beast package. I guess I'll mention also just the Grave Skirmer here. So the Dark Beckoning Beast package is a better version of the Tour Guide because of the fact that it doesn't let you get, like, it gets you into Appaloosa and not just your Yama. So the important part to know about this is that unfortunately it does lose to Droll a little bit harder. And by a little bit harder, it means it's quite impactful. Droll is like insane against this deck right now because, you know, you start with Prosperity, you search for a Dark Beckoning Beast. Dark Beckoning Beast searches for the spell searches for another Dark Beckoning Beast. That's already 3 searches right away. I'm not even going into your Yama. But this is like really good. It also helps you get a Omni Negate, or I guess a Monster Negate, and a Burn card for time as well, which is important to note. And then you have like a consistency. Like before, you have to have a search card, or there's no search card for Tour Guide. But like this, you have your 3 searchers, you have your Gates, which is also a searcher, and then you have your Throne as well, which is a searcher for either one of them. And Throne kind of ties in with the Grayson Squirmer here. And this is another copy of the Shabara, but it doesn't pop, it just summons. So you just have a free summon, which is quite nice, helps you get into Yama, and then you can also banish it to summon out another copy of this, which is quite nice as well. And then for the hand traps, because we are still on the hand traps, I think that hand traps are just better this format. We're playing the 3 Ash Blossom, the 3 Veiler, and then the 3 Impermanence. So, you know, we are still on the 12 non-engine cards in our deck. We are now up to 41, I'll mention. But yeah, like, I don't think that you have to play anything else. You don't really have to play Ogre and stuff like that, and Nib, because you like just being able to negate the stuff. If you're able to play correctly, like you could absolutely change this if you wanted to play those board breaker cards. I just don't find the deck really performs great into board breakers, and I just don't want to see them going first as well. And I always mention with Thrust, like I see a bunch of deck profiles playing Thrust in this deck. Thrust, unfortunately, just is only as good as your deck lets you search for. So, like, while yes, being able to search for a trap is quite nice, being able to set the trap so you can pop it with your Unchained cards, but normally you don't do that mid-turn combo. Like, you know, a lot of the times they're going to ash you on one of your traps already, and being able to set another trap's not really going to get you anywhere. It does get you, like, continuously playing, but being able to go second and searching for, like, obviously a Dark Ruler or more is definitely great. But a lot of times, like, Dark Ruler is not going to do anything for you going first. Therefore, I'd rather have the cards that do help me going first and going second. Because I can always set a trap like Imperm and then pop it if I need to, or have it so I can actually play through the cards, be able to Imperm on other boards, and then continue playing, which is quite nice. But obviously, that's personal preference. You know, you can always play it. There's no such thing as a right deck, just your choice. Now for the spells, we are playing the Nightmare Thrones. This is, like I mentioned earlier, it's just a searcher for your copies of your Beckoning Beast and your Squirmer. If you don't have access to the Dark Beckoning Beast, you can obviously add that, then you can have your full combo, which is quite nice. In either case, you can add Squirmer if you already have another Extender, which is quite impactful. And if you already have both of them, you can always discard this off of Gaze, which is really cool as well, making the bricks a little bit less bricky. We are playing the 3 Abominations Prison. I guess I should mention that we're not playing Terraforming because this card's not really impactful for us. It's just another consistency card, which is, you know, the height of the deck. You could play 2 of them if you wanted to as well. If you like, it's just going to hurt your consistency a little bit more, but you definitely could play it at 2. That would give you essentially you would have, like, you have 6 copies of each of these. Well, you have 4 copies of this, 6 copies of Beast. I guess you can consider 7 copies of Beast because you also have Gates. Like there's just many different ways to get to this, which is like your main card starter, which is quite impactful. But if you just cut this down, then you're obviously only at 5, and 5 and 6 are not that different. So really, it's personal preference for you guys. But Abomination's Prison, this card's absolutely crazy. Helps you pop your cards, helps you add cards you need to have. If you want to be able to add a trap, you can add a trap. If you have 2 of them, you can always add a trap and then also set 1 and pop it, which is really cool as well. You can use both effects, it's quite nice. And we are playing the Abomination Prosperity. This card's absolutely insane. It is an Unchained card. If this gets hit, unfortunately, the deck just gets a little bit weaker. But being able to search for your exact card that you need, being either being a trap or a copy of a card that lets you search for your cards, or a copy of like either Solemn being in a normal summon or a beast as well, can be quite beneficial to you guys. Then of course, if you already gone through your combo or you already have full combo in the hand, you can do your combo, which extends your deck quite significantly, and then go Prosperity for a good solid hand trap or post side deck card that really helps you out, which is quite nice. And then you have your, of course, your 1 copy of Gates. We're not playing 2 of it, and we're going to be playing the Call of the Grave as well. We're not playing 2 Gates because of the fact that you don't really want to brick on the card. Like, you know, with Ubel, it kind of like lets you play your stuff. But with this deck, it's not necessarily a mandatory piece. It definitely helps with it a lot. But if you have 2 copies of it, you're going to be seeing it more and more. And then unfortunately with Beast, if you can't, like, I guess with this card I should mention, that's why we're playing triple Beast. If you are playing 2 Beasts and you open up one of them in the hands and you have another one in the graveyard, or you mill it or whatever you want to, if you don't have a copy of Beast in the hand, you can't actually, or you don't have a copy of Beast in the deck, you can't activate this, which is quite important to note. It kind of is unfortunate for it, but we don't want to just brick on 2 of them, so that's why we're playing 1. And then Call with the Grave, Call with the Grave, it helps you out significantly. And then we are playing the double copy of the Talents for, I guess this is our other 3 non-engine slots as well to make up that 12. Talents is different. You know, people were talking about Unchained in the first part. I think Talents is a little bit different now that you have a little bit more extenders in your deck, you know, talking about the Grave Squirmers and like the other cards as well. I don't think that Thrust is really necessarily needed, like I mentioned before, but being able to rip their hand in a heavy hand trap format helps out this deck significantly a lot. And then being able to even take monsters can be impactful, which we'll see in the side. So it definitely helps out. And then for the traps, we're playing the Triple Escape and the double copy of Abomination. And the first card is Rivalry. So the reason why we're up to 41 here is because of the side deck. So like making side deck patterns a bit better and being able to fit in the Rivalry is just kind of important. You know, it is at 1, and like this makes it siding super easy. And 41 doesn't hurt the consistency that much of the deck, especially with Prosperity, stuff like that. So that you're able to play with like all those cards. Like we saw that you have 6 copies of the Dark Beckoning Beast. You have Prosperity, which kind of gives you like almost 6 copies of every single card. You have Abomination's Prison, being able to double up all your copies of your Unchained cards. Being able to go for those combos, and you have like Yama, which can search your whole deck. It doesn't really hurt the consistency being able to set this card, and if you open it up, quite good. And if you have it going second, it can be beneficial as well, being able to set it, and like a lot of times your opponent will be able to OTK you through Rivalry unless you're playing like a certain specific deck. But in the worst case, you can always pop it because it can just be set and popped with one of your cards. It's not something that you should just think about. And now for the extra deck here. We are playing the 2 copies of Yama. So prior we were playing 3 copies of Yama. Yama isn't really good, but unfortunately we wanted to fit in the extra deck, which is like very, very tight as it is. So being able to fit in 3 was not kind of mandatory. 2 Yama, just make sure you don't banish one off Prosperity, and you have to kind of play correctly now, and by managing your resources correctly, which kind of hurts. It does hurt the grind gauge significantly a lot not having a 3 Yama, but having 2 is still just good. Now for the Double Rage and that beautiful QCR rarity. I'm glad Konami decided to give it a rarity bump. I kind of want to pick up Yamas, but I'm not that rich, so I can't really do it. And then we are playing the 1 Anguish and the 1 Abomination. Very standard. This card's actually crazy. If you're playing cash and you're kind of worried about this deck, definitely just rip the Abomination, to be honest. This card just is so crazy. Same with Anguish. Like people like overlook Anguish all the time by banishing out Prosperity. But this card's insane, especially if you pair it up with Shayama and stuff like that. Being able to like going second, blow stuff up, add cards back, pop it. Same thing with Rage. Just a little bit better because you can just go right into your Abomination, which is kind of crazy. But yeah. We're playing the SP Little Knight and we're playing the Super Producer. This is for your Unchained combo, being able to just pop another card. Very cool. Shouts whoever created that combo. Very crazy. They're playing the Muckraker. This is just so you can special summon back at your monsters. You can actually special summon back with the Anguish a lot of times and then being able to get their effect. This is also when it's special summoned, not when it's link summoned. So if you special summon out off the Yama, or special summon this out off the Muckraker, you'll be able to search. Obviously, you can only do it once per turn, but it's important to note. And then we're playing the Appaloosa as well. This is for your combo. You can make an Appaloosa for 3 all at a time, put your deck back in the Beast package, which helps you out a lot. Now, for other cards, we're playing the Princess and the Doodle Chimera. So this is instead of playing the Unicorn. So Unicorn is only really good, I find, if you're trying to go for game. And this deck already like has an easy way to go for game with Abomination. I don't find it really good, so I chose not to play it. You know, SP Knights is good enough. I find myself also banishing it off of Prosperity a lot of the times. And like you can still do the same thing with this, like being able to play like just banishing 2 out off the bat. You don't want to go into the lines. It doesn't really hurt the deck not being able to go for this, but this essentially just gives you another form of interaction by being like the Doolittle Chimera and the Princess on the field. You're actually able to destroy the Doolittle Chimera as your fire type, summon it out, pop one of your opponent's cards, and then Doolittle Chimera can actually add back your copy of Shavarma or Shavara there, whatever you guys, you know, don't cancel me. But then, you know, people are like, oh, well, you're fire locked. Well, this is a fiend, so you can actually pop it with the Shavara, destroy it, summon it out, and then all of a sudden you're no longer fire locked. You are fiend locked because it's on the field, but you know, your whole deck is essentially fiend. But you have to kind of pay attention when you're playing it with this because, you know, if you have Rage on the field as well, you have to do the Rage into the copy of SP first before you get to even go for either of these, because if you summon out this onto the field, then you're going to be fiend locked. And if you summon this out on the field before you even destroy that with the copy of Shavara, you're going to be fire locked. And of course, you don't have anything to go into Rage with a fire. So kind of important to note. You just kind of have to like organize your cards a little bit more correctly. But yeah, these 2 cards are quite nice. It essentially gives you another form of interaction. And being able to Princess is quite nice. Being able to summon out another body and then go, doesn't really help. It's just like essentially a link 3 that gets you into another add back, which is kind of crazy. And then we are playing for XYZs. We're playing the Djinn Buster, the Caesar, and the Typhon. So this is one of the cards that also has changed from our extra deck. I think this card's absolutely crazy. Being able to set up a negate essentially. Negating activations can be quite beneficial, and then you just deal 500. It can help you out in time as well. You know, being able to go for this and making your opponent essentially not able to activate any effects, or else they're going to be just instantly losing. Can be quite nice. But also being able to make it like this, like I took the page from Ubel. I played against Ubel, and that deck absolutely smoked me with this card itself. So being able to make it, I felt like, okay, that's just kind of good. If you already have your Unchained line, you could just make this, sit on it instead of going for your Appaloosa with the copy of Beast, and then you can use your Unchained line, and then essentially protect your Unchained, getting you your Rage and your Caesar. And if you have Rage, Caesar, and Djinn, you're potentially winning the game as it is. And then Typhon's for going second, and it also is a Fiend, which is important to note. Now for the side deck. The side deck is obviously up to personal change, and you can change it depending on what your local scene is. We're playing 3D Crow, and this card is extremely underrated this format. I don't know why more people are not playing it. Hits almost every single deck, just you have to pair it correctly with another hand trap, which is why I think that hand traps are more important to play over like playing board breaker cards, because you don't want to be playing like half-half, which is kind of important, with this being absolutely crazy. We're playing the double copy of Cyclone as well. This is like our only going kind of like, you know, destruction or ways of not destroying those spells and traps. And people are like, well, you know, why aren't you playing spell and trap card hate? Well, let me introduce you to our good old friend Abomination. This card is crazy. It just pops everything. So, you know, you pop a card on your side of the field, pop one of your opponent's cards. You pop, if another card gets popped on your field, you pop another card. During your end phase, you pop one of your opponent's cards. And you have so much you can just pop. It just definitely comes up constantly, being able to pop those cards, which just benefits a lot. You know, you can play MST if you want instead of this, but this is like for his Runic, being able to not protect with that copy of Fugue, which I thought was very huge. Now for your going first cards, you're playing the Triple D Barrier. This is probably the best going first cards in the format. Card is absolutely crazy. I don't think Skill Drain is going to be quite good in this deck. That's why I'm playing this Dean Barrier. As well as, you know, Skill Drain, you can just out with a Cosmic, while this you can just flip up, call it Fusion against Branded, you're essentially just winning. Even Ritual against, like, the Voiceless deck is just quite good. Fusion against Melodious, you just name it, you're going to be winning. And then going second, we have lots of cards here. We're playing Triple Dark Ruler no more. You know, a lot of people are playing this in the main, but against a Snake Eye deck, if you can't really take wins with those hand traps, you know, you're not playing enough of them, you have to side into those copies of Board Breakers. So taking out the hand traps, playing Dark Ruler no more, and we are playing the triple copies of Mind Control and the copy of Change of Heart. Now this is kind of like why we are playing the 41 cards, because against Snake Eye, it's kind of hard to beat them with a deck like this, like a very mid-range deck. So taking out those hand traps and being able to throw in these cards can help you out a lot, being able to steal their monsters right away. And then you activate this if they already summoned out the copy of IP with the Flamebird or the Appaloosa. you know, you're able to take it. And if you have multiple copies, you can just like target one, take it, and then target the other one if you have it already, and then done. If you don't, you have one of these copies, you can just steal their monster, whichever one you want, then dark roll the other one, which is kind of crazy. But that's kind of it for the deck profile. I will be showing you guys off a combo video very soon, so stay tuned for that. If you want to see anything else, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll definitely make sure to answer you guys. This was a little bit of a long one. I wanted to kind of show you guys the explanations of why. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, see more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.